Hello, my dear friend. Right now, as you're listening to these words, I want you to know that you haven't arrived here by accident. There's something beautiful happening in your life, even if you can't quite see it yet. Your heart has been calling for something different, something more aligned with who you're truly meant to be. The very fact that you found yourself here tells me that your soul is ready to step into a new chapter of your life. You know that feeling, don't you? That gentle stirring deep inside that whispers, there's more waiting for you. It's like standing at the edge of a beautiful garden, knowing that beyond the gate lies something wonderful, but not quite being able to see what's on the other side. This moment you're experiencing right now is sacred. It's the moment when your inner wisdom is preparing you for transformation, even if your mind doesn't understand it yet. Life has this incredible way of bringing us exactly what we need when we're ready to receive it. Sometimes we think we're lost, confused, or stuck, but really we're being gently guided toward our next level of growth. The universe is always conspiring to help us, always moving us toward our highest good, even when the path seems unclear. Right now, you're in one of those precious moments where everything is aligning to support your journey forward. There's a beautiful truth I've learned over the years. When we're ready for change, change finds us. It doesn't always come in the way we expect, and it doesn't always feel comfortable at first, but it always comes with love. Your life is getting ready to shift in ways that will surprise and delight you. The old patterns, the old ways of thinking, the old limitations are all preparing to dissolve, making space for something much more beautiful to emerge. Think of this time as the quiet moment before dawn. Everything seems still and dark, but underneath the surface, light is building. The sun knows exactly when to rise, and your transformation knows exactly when to unfold. You don't have to force anything or figure it all out right now. You just need to trust that you're being held and guided by a love that's greater than any fear or doubt you might be feeling. Your body knows this too. Perhaps you've been feeling restless lately, or sensing that something needs to change. Maybe you've been having dreams that feel significant, or finding yourself drawn to new ideas, new books, new ways of thinking. These aren't random occurrences. These are your inner guidance system preparing you for what's coming next. Your whole being is getting ready to expand into a new version of yourself. I want you to take a gentle breath right now and feel into this truth. You are exactly where you need to be. Every experience you've had, every challenge you've faced, every moment of joy and every moment of sorrow has been preparing you for this transition. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been a mistake. It's all been part of the beautiful unfolding of your life's purpose. Right now, somewhere deep inside, there's a part of you that's been waiting patiently for this moment. It's the part of you that has always known your true worth, your infinite potential, your capacity for joy and love and abundance. This part of you has never been damaged by any experience. It has never been diminished by any criticism or setback. It has been quietly holding space for you to return to your true self, and that return is beginning now. The changes coming into your life aren't happening to you. They're happening through you and for you. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're a powerful creator, and you're about to remember just how magnificent you really are. The universe has been preparing this gift for you, wrapped in experiences and opportunities that will help you step into your fullest expression of who you're meant to be. As we continue this journey together, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's a loving presence that surrounds you always, supporting every step you take toward your highest good. You can lean into this love. You can trust it. You can allow it to carry you forward into the beautiful changes that are waiting for you. Something within you has been calling for this transformation, and now the time has come to listen. Your life is about to change in the most wonderful ways, and you're ready for it, even if part of you feels uncertain. That uncertainty is natural. It's simply the old you making room for the new you to emerge. And what's emerging is going to be more beautiful than anything you've ever imagined. Now let's talk about what's been stirring within you lately. You know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and there's a sense that something is different, even though everything around you looks the same? Or when you're going through your daily routine, but there's this quiet voice inside saying that it's time for something new? These are the whispers of your soul, gently nudging you toward growth and expansion. Change often begins long before we consciously recognize it. It starts in the quiet spaces of our hearts, in the dreams we have at night, in the sudden urges to try something different or explore a new path. It might show up as a growing dissatisfaction with things that used to bring you comfort, or a mysterious longing for something you can't quite name. These feelings aren't signs that something is wrong with you. They're signs that something is beautifully right with your growth process. Your inner wisdom has been preparing you for this shift for quite some time now. Maybe you've noticed that certain conversations feel different lately, or that you're drawn to different books, different music, different ways of spending your time. Perhaps you've found yourself questioning beliefs you've held for years, or feeling called to explore parts of yourself you've kept hidden. All of these are beautiful indicators that your consciousness is expanding, making room for new possibilities to enter your life. The body often knows about coming changes before the mind does. You might have been feeling more tired than usual lately, as if your energy is being redirected towards something unseen. Or perhaps you've been experiencing unusual dreams, vivid and meaningful in ways that stay with you throughout the day. Some people notice changes in their appetite, their sleep patterns, or their sensitivity to the energy around them. These physical shifts are your body's way of preparing for the emotional and spiritual growth that's unfolding. Sometimes the call for change comes through what feels like disruption, a relationship that no longer fits, a job that feels suffocating, a living situation that needs to shift. While these disruptions can feel uncomfortable, they're often the universe's way of moving us toward something much better. It's like a gentle but firm hand guiding us away from what no longer serves and toward what will truly nourish our souls. Your emotional world has probably been shifting too. Old hurts might be surfacing for healing. Patterns you thought you dealt with might be asking for your attention again, but this time from a deeper level. This isn't a sign that you're going backward. It's a sign that you're ready to heal these things completely, to transform them into wisdom and strength. Your soul is clearing out everything that doesn't belong in your new chapter. There's often a restlessness that comes before transformation. It's as if some part of you knows that big changes are coming, even when your logical mind hasn't caught up yet. You might find yourself feeling impatient with your current circumstances, even when they're not necessarily bad. This impatience isn't something to push away. It's your inner self saying, we're ready for more. We're ready to grow. We're ready to step into something bigger. Pay attention to what captures your interest these days. Are you drawn to learning new things, exploring new places, connecting with different types of people? These attractions aren't random. They're breadcrumbs leading you toward your next phase of growth. Your soul knows where it wants to go, and it's leaving you clues along the way. Sometimes the signs of coming change show up in our relationships. You might notice that certain people feel different to be around, while others suddenly seem more important. This isn't about judgment or abandoning anyone. It's about recognizing that as you grow and change, your energetic connections naturally shift to support your new direction. The people who are meant to be part of your journey will grow with you or find new ways to connect. Your relationship with yourself is probably shifting too. old ways of thinking about yourself, old limitations you've accepted, old stories about what's possible for you are all being questioned by your expanding awareness. This can feel unsettling at first because our identity has been built around these familiar patterns. But what's happening is beautiful. You're outgrowing the container of your old self-concept and getting ready to step into a much larger sense of who you are. Trust these stirrings. Trust the restlessness. Trust the questions that are arising in your heart. They're not signs of confusion or uncertainty. They're signs of awakening. Your consciousness is expanding, and expansion always requires leaving behind what feels too small. The caterpillar must trust the process of becoming a butterfly, even though it can't see what it's becoming while it's in the cocoon. This preparation phase is so important. It's your inner wisdom making sure you're ready for the gifts that are coming your way. Change that lasts, change that truly serves your highest good, needs to be built on a foundation of readiness and openness. And that's exactly what's happening within you right now. Now comes one of the most tender and important parts of any transformation: learning to let go with love. When we're preparing for change, there comes a moment when we must release what no longer serves us to make space for what wants to enter our lives. This isn't about forcing anything away or fighting against our past. It's about consciously choosing to create space for our growth. Letting go can feel scary because we're often releasing things that have been with us for a long time, even if they haven't been serving our highest good. That old job that felt secure but unfulfilling. That relationship pattern that felt familiar but kept us small. Those beliefs about ourselves that protected us once but now limit our potential. These things became part of our identity, part of how we knew ourselves in the world, and releasing them can feel like losing a piece of who we are. But here's a beautiful truth. What we're really releasing isn't who we are. We're releasing who we thought we had to be to survive, to fit in, to be loved, to be safe. Underneath all of those learned patterns and protective strategies is the real you, the you that has been waiting patiently to fully emerge. When we let go of what doesn't serve us, we're not losing ourselves, we're finding ourselves. The process of release works best when it comes from love rather than force. When we try to push things away because we think they're bad or wrong, we often create more resistance. But when we can look at these old patterns with compassion, understanding why they were there and thanking them for how they tried to help us, then we can release them gently, with gratitude for the role they played in our journey. Think of it like cleaning out a closet. You don't have to hate the clothes you're giving away. Some of them served you well for a time. Some of them were exactly what you needed when you first got them. But now your style has changed, your body has changed, your life has changed, and these clothes no longer fit who you're becoming. You can appreciate them for what they gave you and release them with love, making space for clothing that reflects who you are now. Your thoughts work the same way. Those old thought patterns about limitation, about unworthiness, about what's possible for someone like you, they might have protected you once. They might have helped you fit in or avoid disappointment, but now they're too small for who you're becoming. You can thank them for trying to keep you safe and gently let them go, making space for thoughts that support your growth and expansion. Sometimes the hardest things to release are our judgments about ourselves. We've carried these inner critics for so long that they feel like essential parts of who we are. But that voice that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy of love and success, that's not your voice. That's the voice of old programming, often passed down through generations of people who were also carrying pain and limitation. You can choose to release these judgments with compassion, understanding that everyone involved was doing their best with what they knew at the time. The beautiful thing about conscious release is that it creates immediate space for something better to enter. When you let go of the belief that you're not capable of achieving your dreams, you make space for confidence and clarity to grow. When you release relationships that drain your energy, you make space for connections that nourish and support you. When you let go of activities that feel obligatory rather than inspired, you make space for pursuits that light you up from the inside. Your body holds on to things too, and it needs your support in releasing what doesn't serve you anymore. Old emotions, old tensions, old patterns of stress and worry get stored in your muscles, your organs, your nervous system. Gentle movement, deep breathing, time in nature, warm baths, loving touch, all of these help your body release what it's been carrying and open to receive new vitality and well-being. One powerful way to support this release process is through forgiveness, starting with yourself. You don't have to understand everything or figure out why certain patterns developed. You just need to be willing to forgive yourself for not knowing better before now, for doing things that didn't serve you, for accepting less than you deserved. This forgiveness isn't about condoning harmful behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of judgment so you can move forward with a clear heart. As you release these old patterns, you might notice that life starts to feel lighter, more spacious, more full of possibility. Colors might seem brighter, food might taste better, sleep might come more easily, joy might surprise you in unexpected moments. These are all signs that you're successfully creating space for your authentic self to emerge and thrive. The process isn't always linear. Sometimes you'll feel like you've released something completely, only to have it show up again a few days later. This is normal and natural. Healing and growth happen in layers, and each time an old pattern surfaces, you have another opportunity to release it more completely. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle. Trust that every small step toward freedom is meaningful and valuable. What you're making space for is nothing short of miraculous. You're making space for the full expression of your unique gifts, for relationships that truly nourish you, for work that feels like play, for abundance in all its forms, for joy that doesn't depend on external circumstances, for peace that comes from knowing who you really are. All of this is waiting for you, and it's closer than you think. There's a voice inside you that has never been fooled by external circumstances or other people's opinions. It's the voice of your inner wisdom, your true knowing, and it's been with you since the day you were born. This voice knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. It knows what's truly good for you, what will bring you joy, what decisions will lead you toward your highest path. The beautiful thing about this time of transition in your life is that you're becoming more ready to hear and trust this inner guidance. Your inner wisdom speaks differently than your thinking mind. While your mind analyzes, compares, worries, and tries to figure everything out, your inner wisdom simply knows. It communicates through feelings, through sudden insights, through that quiet sense of rightness when you're moving in the direction that serves you. It's the feeling you get when you meet someone and instantly know they're going to be important in your life. It's the way your body relaxes when you make a decision that's aligned with your truth, even if your mind can't understand why. Learning to distinguish between the voice of wisdom and the voice of fear is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Fear speaks loudly and urgently. It tells you all the things that could go wrong, all the reasons why you should stay small and safe, all the ways you might fail or be hurt. Fear's voice is often critical, comparing you to others, reminding you of past mistakes, painting scary pictures of the future. But underneath all that noise, your wisdom whispers gently and consistently about what will truly serve your growth and happiness. Your inner wisdom has been guiding you all along, even when you didn't recognize it. Think back to times when you had a gut feeling about something and you followed it and everything worked out beautifully. Or times when you ignored that inner knowing and chose what seemed more logical or safe. only to wish later that you had trusted your first instinct. These experiences weren't coincidences. They were your inner guidance system showing you how it works and encouraging you to rely on it more fully. Right now, as you're preparing for this new chapter in your life, your inner wisdom is especially active. It's the part of you that guided you to this very moment, that knew you were ready to hear these words and open to this transformation. It's been orchestrating events, bringing people and opportunities into your path, setting up circumstances that will support your growth. Your job isn't to figure out how it all works. Your job is simply to listen and trust. One of the most beautiful ways to connect with your inner wisdom is through stillness. In our busy world, we're often so caught up in doing and thinking and reacting that we miss the subtle guidance that's always available to us. But when you create moments of quiet, when you step away from the noise and distractions, you create space for your deeper knowing to surface. This doesn't require hours of meditation or special techniques. Sometimes just a few minutes of sitting quietly, breathing deeply, and asking your heart what it knows is enough to receive the guidance you need. Your body is one of your greatest allies in accessing inner wisdom. It responds to truth with a sense of expansion, lightness, or rightness. When something is truly good for you, your body knows it. Your shoulders might relax, your breathing might deepen, you might feel a gentle energy moving through you. When something isn't aligned with your highest good, your body contracts. Your stomach might tighten, your jaw might clench, you might feel heavy or drained. These physical responses are your inner wisdom communicating through your body, giving you information that's often more accurate than what your thinking mind provides. Trust that you already know more than you think you know. When you're facing a decision, when you're wondering which path to take, when you're seeking clarity about your next steps, the answer is already within you. It might not come in the form of a detailed plan or a logical explanation. It might come as a simple sense of yes or no, as an image that flashes through your mind, as a feeling of excitement or peace when you consider a particular option. Your inner wisdom speaks in the language of the heart, not the language of the mind. This time of transition is perfect for developing a deeper relationship with your inner guidance. As old patterns dissolve and new possibilities emerge, you need reliable navigation, and that navigation comes from within. The external world might seem uncertain, but your inner wisdom is always steady, always available, always pointing you toward your highest good. The more you listen to it, the stronger and clearer it becomes. Sometimes your inner wisdom will guide you toward choices that don't make sense to other people, or even to your own logical mind. It might encourage you to leave a secure situation, to pursue something unknown, to end a relationship that looks good on paper but doesn't feel right in your heart, to move to a new place or start a new venture that others consider risky. These moments of following your inner knowing despite external pressures are often the moments that lead to your greatest growth and most beautiful opportunities. Your intuition about this current time of change is absolutely correct. You know something wonderful is unfolding, even if you can't see all the details yet. You know you're being prepared for something bigger and better, even if the path seems uncertain. You know deep down that you're safe and supported, even when your mind wants to worry about the unknown. This knowing isn't wishful thinking or denial. It's your inner wisdom recognizing truth and guiding you forward with confidence and faith. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what's possible for us shape every aspect of our experience. These stories were written over many years, influenced by family messages, cultural beliefs, past experiences, and the interpretations we made of everything that happened to us. Some of these stories serve us well, celebrating our strengths and supporting our growth, but many of them were written during difficult times, by parts of us that were hurt or scared or trying to protect us from further pain. These protective stories often limit us far more than any external circumstance ever could. Think about the story you've been telling yourself about your capabilities, your worthiness, your potential for love and success and happiness. Where did these stories come from? Often they trace back to childhood experiences, to things people said to us when we were young and impressionable, to conclusions we drew when we didn't have enough information or wisdom to understand what was really happening. A child who is criticized might create a story about not being good enough. A young person who experiences rejection might write a story about being unlovable. Someone who faces financial struggles might develop beliefs about scarcity and limitation. But here's the beautiful truth. These stories aren't facts. They're interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. The little girl who was told she wasn't smart enough can choose to see herself as intelligent and capable. The young man who learned to expect rejection can open his heart to love and acceptance. The person who grew up with financial stress can step into a story of abundance and prosperity. You have the power to rewrite every limiting story you've been carrying. This rewriting process begins with awareness. Start noticing the stories you tell yourself throughout the day. When you're facing a challenge, what do you automatically assume about your ability to handle it? When an opportunity appears, what beliefs surface about whether you deserve it or could succeed at it? When you look in the mirror, what story does your inner voice tell about what you see? These automatic stories are running in the background of your consciousness all the time, shaping your choices and your experiences. Some of these stories might surprise you with how limiting they are. You might discover that you've been telling yourself you're too old or too young, too inexperienced or too set in your ways, too emotional or not emotional enough, too much or not enough in dozens of different ways. These stories create invisible cages that keep you from even trying things that could bring you joy and fulfillment. But once you see them clearly, you can begin to change them. The process of rewriting your story isn't about pretending your past didn't happen or denying real challenges you faced. It's about choosing to focus on the aspects of your experience that empower you rather than the ones that diminish you. Every difficult experience also contains gifts. Every setback also builds strength. Every ending also creates space for new beginnings. When you start looking for these positive aspects and making them part of your story, your whole relationship with your life begins to shift. Your new story gets to include all the wonderful qualities that have always been true about you, but maybe haven't been celebrated enough. Your kindness, your creativity, your resilience, your unique way of seeing the world, your capacity for growth and learning, your ability to love and be loved. These aren't things you need to develop. These are things you already are, waiting to be recognized and expressed more fully. As you rewrite your story, you also get to choose what you want the next chapters to include. What would you like to experience more of in your life? What qualities would you like to develop? What contributions would you like to make? What kind of relationships would you like to have? What feelings would you like to be familiar with on a daily basis? All of this gets to be part of your new story, and the more clearly you can envision it, the more naturally your life will begin to move in that direction. One powerful way to begin this rewriting process is through gentle mirror work. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what story do your eyes tell? Can you see past any criticism or judgment to the beautiful soul looking back at you? Can you speak to yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend? The way you relate to yourself in the mirror reflects the story you're telling about your worth and your potential. As you practice speaking lovingly to your reflection, you begin to rewrite the story of self-relationship that influences everything else in your life. Your new story doesn't have to be perfect or completely figured out. It just needs to be more loving, more empowering, more aligned with who you're becoming. Every time you choose a thought that supports your growth rather than one that limits it, you're adding a beautiful line to your new story. Every time you take an action that honors your worth rather than one that diminishes it, you're writing a new chapter. This is the creative power you've always had, and now you're learning to use it consciously. The most beautiful part of rewriting your story is that it immediately begins to change your experience. When you see yourself as someone who is worthy of love, you naturally attract more loving relationships. When you tell yourself a story about your capability and strength, you find yourself taking on challenges you would have avoided before. When you believe in your own potential for growth and change, you create space for transformation to unfold in ways that will amaze you. Your body and mind are more connected than most people realize. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold creates a response in your physical body. When you're stressed or worried, your muscles tighten, your breathing becomes shallow, your digestive system slows down. When you're happy and relaxed, your whole body functions more smoothly. Your immune system works better, your sleep is more restful, your energy flows more freely. This isn't just a nice idea, it's a biological reality that scientists have been studying for decades. During times of transition and growth, this mind-body connection becomes especially important to understand and work with consciously. As you're releasing old patterns and opening to new possibilities, your body is processing these changes right along with your mind and emotions. Sometimes this can feel overwhelming if you don't know how to support yourself through the process. But when you understand what's happening and know how to help your body adjust, transformation becomes much more comfortable and sustainable. Your body has been storing the effects of every experience you've ever had. Joyful experiences create one kind of imprint, while difficult or traumatic experiences create another. Old hurts, old fears, old patterns of stress and tension get held in your muscles, your organs, your nervous system. As you begin to heal and grow emotionally, your body needs to release these old imprints too. This is why transformation sometimes brings up physical symptoms, or why you might feel more tired than usual during periods of significant change. The beautiful thing is that your body wants to heal and return to its natural state of vitality and well-being. It's always working to restore balance and harmony. When you consciously support this process, you can move through transformation with greater ease and actually emerge stronger and healthier than before. Your body becomes an ally in your growth rather than something that seems to be working against you. Breathing is one of the most powerful tools you have for supporting your body through change. When you're anxious or stressed, your breathing naturally becomes shallow and rapid, but you can consciously use your breath to calm your nervous system and create a sense of safety in your body. Try taking slow, deep breaths that fill your belly rather than just your chest. As you breathe in, imagine you're drawing in peace and vitality. As you breathe out, imagine you're releasing any tension or worry you've been carrying. Your breathing can also help you connect with the present moment when your mind wants to worry about the future or rehash the past. Right now, take a moment to notice your breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, then leaving your body. This simple awareness brings you back to the only moment that really exists, the only moment where peace and power are available to you. In this moment, you're safe. In this moment, you're whole. In this moment, you have everything you need. Movement is another wonderful way to support your body through transformation. You don't need to do anything strenuous or complicated. Simple, gentle movement helps your body process emotions and release old patterns. walking in nature, stretching, dancing to music you love, swimming, yoga, even just moving your arms and shoulders while you're sitting, all of these help energy flow more freely through your body. When energy flows freely, healing happens naturally. Your body also responds beautifully to touch and warmth. Warm baths, soft clothing, gentle self-massage, hugs from people you care about. All of these send signals to your nervous system that you're safe and cared for. When your body feels safe, it can relax into the healing and transformation that wants to happen. You can give yourself this gift of nurturing touch anytime you need it. Sleep becomes even more important during times of change. Your body does much of its healing and processing while you sleep. It's as if your system uses the quiet hours to integrate all the growth and learning that happened during the day. Creating a peaceful bedtime routine, going to sleep at a reasonable hour, and making your sleeping space as comfortable as possible all support your body's natural healing processes. What you feed your body matters too, but not in a complicated or restrictive way. Simply choosing foods that make you feel good, that give you energy rather than depleting it, that feel nourishing rather than heavy, helps your body support your transformation. Often during times of growth, your body's needs change. You might find yourself craving different foods or wanting to eat at different times. Trust these changes. Your body knows what it needs to support your healing and growth. The emotions you're experiencing also need space to move through your body rather than getting stuck or pushed down. Crying, laughing, singing, even gentle expressions of anger all help emotional energy flow through and out of your system. These aren't signs of weakness or instability. They're signs of a healthy system processing change. Give yourself permission to feel whatever comes up, knowing that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. As you support your body through this transformation, you might notice that you feel more alive, more vibrant, more connected to your own vitality than you have in years. This is your natural state beginning to emerge as old patterns of tension and holding begin to dissolve. Your body wants to feel good. It wants to be healthy and strong and full of energy. When you work with it rather than against it, when you listen to its wisdom and support its needs, it becomes one of your greatest allies in creating the life you truly want. Self-love isn't a luxury or something you earn after you've become perfect. It's the foundation that makes all other growth and healing possible. During times of transition, when everything feels uncertain and you're stepping into unknown territory, loving yourself becomes even more essential. It's like being your own best friend, your own loving parent, your own greatest supporter as you navigate the changes unfolding in your life. Many of us learn to be incredibly hard on ourselves. We learn to notice what's wrong before we see what's right. We learn to push ourselves relentlessly, to criticize our mistakes, to compare ourselves unfavorably to others. We thought this harsh inner voice would motivate us to be better, but all it really does is drain our energy and make us feel small. The truth is, you will grow so much more beautifully when you treat yourself with the kindness and patience you would naturally offer someone you truly love. Right now, as you're moving through this period of change, your inner critic might be working overtime. It might be telling you that you're taking too long to figure things out, that you should have your life together by now, that other people handle change better than you do. But what if you could speak to yourself differently? What if instead of criticism, you offered yourself the same gentle encouragement you would give a child who is learning to walk? Every step forward, even the wobbly ones, would be celebrated. Every stumble would be met with compassion and support. Self-love during transition means accepting where you are right now, even if it's not where you thought you'd be. It means recognizing that growth is messy and non-linear, that healing takes time, that becoming who you're meant to be is a process, not a destination. You don't have to be finished growing to be worthy of love and respect. You don't have to have it all figured out to deserve kindness. You are worthy of love exactly as you are, in this moment, with all your questions and uncertainties and imperfections. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-love is through the words you speak to yourself. Throughout the day, you have a running conversation in your mind, and often that conversation is anything but loving. But you can choose to change this inner dialogue. When you catch yourself being critical, you can pause and ask, how would I speak to someone I love in this situation? Then offer yourself those same words of comfort and encouragement. Your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship in your life. When you treat yourself with respect and kindness, you naturally attract others who will treat you the same way. When you honor your own needs and boundaries, you create space for relationships that truly nourish you. When you celebrate your own growth and accomplishments, you inspire others to celebrate theirs. Self-love isn't selfish. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give to the world. Learning to forgive yourself is a crucial part of self-love, especially during times of change when old patterns and mistakes might be surfacing for healing. You don't have to carry the weight of every wrong choice or missed opportunity. You can acknowledge that you did your best with what you knew at the time, and you can choose to release yourself from judgment. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending harmful things didn't happen. It means freeing yourself from the burden of resentment so you can move forward with a clear heart. Self-love also means taking care of your practical needs with the same attention you would give someone precious to you. It means eating foods that nourish you, getting enough rest, creating beauty in your environment, surrounding yourself with people who appreciate you, engaging in activities that bring you joy. These aren't indulgences. They're basic expressions of self-respect that tell your whole being that you matter, that your well-being is important, that you deserve to be cared for. During this time of transition, be especially gentle with yourself when things don't go according to plan. Change rarely unfolds in straight lines. There will be days when you feel confident and clear, and other days when you feel confused or overwhelmed. Both kinds of days are normal and necessary parts of the process. On the difficult days, instead of judging yourself for struggling, you can wrap yourself in extra compassion, knowing that even the challenging moments are serving your growth. Practice speaking to yourself the way you would speak to your own beloved child. Use words like sweetheart and dear one when you're talking to yourself internally. When you make a mistake, instead of harsh criticism, try saying something like, "It's okay, sweetheart. You're learning. You're growing. This doesn't define you." This might feel strange at first if you're not used to treating yourself kindly, but with practice, it becomes natural and incredibly healing. Self-love during transition also means trusting your own timing. You don't have to change as quickly as someone else thinks you should. You don't have to have breakthrough moments on anyone else's schedule. Your growth is unfolding at exactly the pace that's right for you, taking into account everything you've experienced and everything you need to integrate. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be, even when others might not understand your process. As you practice loving yourself more fully, you'll notice that life becomes easier in unexpected ways. Decisions become clearer because you're considering what truly serves your highest good. Relationships improve because you're no longer trying to get love from others to fill a void within yourself. Opportunities appear because you're vibrating at the frequency of someone who knows they deserve good things. Self-love isn't just a nice feeling. It's a powerful force that transforms everything it touches. Right now, your life is like a garden that's being prepared for new growth. Old plants that no longer serve the garden's purpose are being gently removed. The soil is being enriched with new nutrients. Seeds of possibility are being planted in the fertile ground of your expanding consciousness. But for this garden to flourish, it needs one essential element: your willingness to open to new possibilities, to expand your vision of what's available to you. For so long, you might have been living within the boundaries of what seemed realistic, practical, or safe. These boundaries were based on past experiences, other people's opinions, or beliefs about limitation that you inherited without questioning. But what if those boundaries were never real? What if they were just invisible fences that you can choose to step beyond whenever you're ready? The truth is, the universe is far more abundant and creative than most of us have been taught to believe. Opening to new possibilities begins with questioning the assumptions you've been making about what's available to you. Maybe you've assumed that meaningful work is only for other people, that deep love is something you can't expect, that financial abundance is reserved for those who are different from you somehow. Maybe you've believed that you're too old or too young, too inexperienced or too set in your ways, too different or too ordinary to have the kind of life that would truly excite you. But what if none of these limitations are actually true? The universe loves to surprise us with gifts that are bigger and more beautiful than anything we thought to ask for. It delights in bringing together circumstances and opportunities in ways that our logical minds never could have planned. Right now, there are possibilities lining up for you that you haven't even imagined yet. There are people you haven't met who will become important parts of your story. There are opportunities developing that will be perfect matches for your unique gifts and interests. Your job isn't to figure out how these possibilities will manifest or to create detailed plans for every aspect of your future. Your job is simply to stay open, to keep your heart and mind receptive to good things coming your way. This openness is like leaving your door unlocked for the universe to deliver gifts. When you're closed off, convinced that nothing good can happen, you miss the subtle invitations and gentle nudges that are constantly guiding you toward your highest good. Sometimes new possibilities come disguised as disruptions or challenges. A job loss that initially feels devastating opens the door to work that's much more fulfilling. A relationship ending creates space for a love that's deeper and more authentic. A health challenge motivates lifestyle changes that lead to greater vitality than you've experienced in years. The universe often has to clear away what's not working to make room for what will serve you much better. Opening to possibilities also means expanding your sense of what you deserve. Many of us have been living with unconscious limits on how much joy, love, success, and abundance we believe we're entitled to experience. These limits often trace back to childhood messages or cultural conditioning that taught us to expect less, to be grateful for whatever we get, to not want too much. But what if you're actually meant to experience far more goodness than you've been allowing yourself to receive? Your willingness to dream bigger is actually a service to the world. When you allow yourself to envision and create a life that truly fulfills you, you become an inspiration to others who have been playing small. You give them permission to expand their own vision of what's possible. You become living proof that ordinary people can create extraordinary lives when they're willing to open their hearts to new possibilities. One beautiful way to practice opening to possibilities is through visualization. Take some quiet time to imagine your life exactly as you would love it to be, without worrying about how it could happen or whether it's realistic. See yourself living in a way that brings you deep satisfaction. Feel the emotions you would experience if everything was flowing beautifully in your life. This isn't wishful thinking or fantasy. This is you communicating with the creative forces of the universe, showing them what you're ready to receive and experience. As you open to new possibilities, You might notice that your intuition becomes stronger and clearer. You'll start recognizing opportunities that you would have missed before. You'll feel drawn to people and experiences that can help you grow in exactly the ways you need. You'll find yourself in the right place at the right time more often. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is what happens when you align yourself with the flow of abundance and possibility that's always available. The key is to stay in a state of expectancy without attachment. Expect good things to come your way, but don't limit the universe by insisting they come in specific forms or time frames. Be excited about your future without trying to control every detail of how it unfolds. This balance of expectancy and openness creates the perfect conditions for possibilities to manifest in ways that will delight and surprise you. Remember, you don't have to earn these possibilities through struggle or sacrifice. You don't have to be perfect or completely healed or totally clear about your purpose. The universe doesn't wait until you're ready in every way before it starts sending gifts your way. It starts responding to your openness immediately. Every time you choose hope over fear, expansion over limitation, possibility over resignation, you send a signal that you're ready for more goodness to enter your life. There's a difference between forcing action and taking inspired action. And learning to recognize this difference will change everything about how you move through life. Forced action comes from fear, impatience, or the belief that you have to make things happen through sheer willpower. It feels heavy, effortful, and often leads to results that don't truly satisfy you. Inspired action, on the other hand, comes from a deeper place of knowing. It feels natural, energizing, and leads you toward outcomes that serve your highest good. Right now, as you're navigating this period of transformation, you might feel pressure to take big, dramatic actions to create change in your life. Your mind might be pushing you to quit your job immediately, move to a new city, end relationships, or make other major shifts before you're truly ready. While bold action is sometimes called for, more often the most powerful steps are smaller, more intuitive ones that honor your natural timing and inner guidance. Inspired action often begins with very simple steps. It might be as gentle as signing up for a class that interests you, reaching out to someone you've been thinking about, exploring a new neighborhood in your city, or spending time in a bookstore browsing subjects that fascinate you. These small actions might not seem significant, but they signal to the universe that you're ready for movement and growth. They create momentum that naturally leads to larger opportunities and clearer direction. The beautiful thing about inspired action is that it doesn't feel like work in the traditional sense. When you're moving in alignment with your inner guidance, even challenging tasks feel manageable because you know they're taking you where you want to go. There's a sense of rightness, of flow, of being supported by forces greater than your individual will. This doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it means you'll have the energy and resources you need for whatever you're called to do. One of the clearest signs of inspired action is that it excites you even if it also feels a little scary. That combination of excitement and nervousness usually indicates that you're being called toward growth that's perfectly suited for your current level of readiness. Your excitement shows that this action aligns with your authentic desires. The nervousness shows that it's big enough to stretch you into a new version of yourself. Trust the timing of your impulses to act. Sometimes you'll feel called to move quickly on something, and other times you'll know it's important to wait and let things develop more fully before taking action. Both of these impulses are valid guidance from your inner wisdom. The universe has perfect timing, and when you learn to work with this timing rather than against it, your actions become far more effective and satisfying. Inspired action also means saying no to things that don't align with your path, even when they seem like good opportunities or when other people think you should pursue them. If something feels heavy or obligatory rather than energizing, it's probably not your next right step. You can appreciate an opportunity without having to take it. You can respect other people's suggestions without having to follow them. Your inner guidance knows what's truly right for you better than any external advice. Sometimes the most inspired action is rest. In our culture that celebrates constant busyness, it can feel wrong to slow down or take time for reflection and renewal. But there are seasons of action and seasons of rest, and both are essential for healthy growth. If you're feeling called to take some time for yourself, to step back from commitments, to create space for healing or contemplation, honor that impulse. Often the most important transformation happens during these quiet periods. Pay attention to what energizes you versus what drains you. Activities that consistently leave you feeling depleted are probably not aligned with your highest path, even if they seem important or necessary. Activities that energize and inspire you, that make time seem to fly by, that leave you feeling more alive than when you started, these are clues to your authentic direction. Follow the energy. It's one of your most reliable guides to right action. When you're unsure about whether to take a particular action, try it on in your imagination first. Visualize yourself moving forward with this choice. How does it feel in your body? Does it create expansion or contraction? Does it feel light or heavy? Your body's response to imagined scenarios is often more accurate than your mind's analysis of pros and cons. Trust what your whole being tells you about potential actions. Remember that taking inspired action doesn't mean you have to have the entire path mapped out before you take the first step. In fact, the universe usually reveals your path one step at a time, giving you just enough light to see your next move. This might feel uncertain to your mind, but it's actually the perfect way for growth to unfold. Each step you take provides new information and opens new possibilities that couldn't be seen from where you started. Your willingness to take inspired action, even when you can't see the whole picture, demonstrates faith in yourself and in the process of life. This faith is magnetic. It attracts people, opportunities, and resources that support your journey. The universe responds powerfully to people who are willing to take steps toward their dreams, even when those steps feel small or uncertain. Trust is perhaps the most challenging and most essential aspect of any transformation. When you're in the middle of change, when old patterns are dissolving and new ones haven't fully formed yet, when you can't see exactly where you're headed or how things will work out, trust becomes your anchor, your guiding light, your source of peace in the midst of uncertainty. Trust doesn't mean knowing how everything will unfold. It means knowing that you're held and supported by a love that's greater than any temporary confusion or fear you might be experiencing. It means remembering that you've been guided safely through every challenge and transition you've ever faced, and that this same guidance is available to you now. It means believing that life is fundamentally on your side, even when circumstances might temporarily suggest otherwise. Surrender is trust in action. It's the willingness to release your grip on how you think things should happen and allow them to unfold in ways that might be even better than what you had planned. Surrender isn't giving up or becoming passive. It's becoming actively receptive to guidance and opportunities that your controlling mind might miss. It's staying open to solutions and possibilities that are bigger and more creative than anything you could have figured out on your own. Sometimes surrender means letting go of timelines you've set for yourself. You might have thought you'd have certain things figured out by a particular age, or that changes in your life would happen more quickly or more slowly than they are. But your soul's timing is perfect, taking into account factors that your conscious mind can't see. When you surrender to this deeper timing, you often find that things unfold with a grace and synchronicity that amazes you. Surrender also means trusting that you have everything within you that you need for this journey. You might not feel ready. You might wish you were more confident, more clear, more prepared for what's ahead. But readiness isn't a prerequisite for growth. Often we become ready by moving forward, not the other way around. The experiences you need to develop your strength and wisdom are already built into your path. One of the most beautiful aspects of surrender is that it reduces struggle dramatically. When you're fighting against the flow of your life, trying to force outcomes or resist necessary changes, everything feels difficult and exhausting. But when you learn to work with the current of your life rather than against it, when you trust that the river knows where it's going and will carry you safely, the journey becomes much more peaceful and enjoyable. Trust that the people who are meant to be part of your new chapter will appear at exactly the right time. You don't have to force connections or hold on to relationships that are outgrown. The universe is constantly arranging meetings and partings that serve everyone's highest good. As you change and grow, your relationships will naturally shift to reflect your new energy and direction. Trust that the resources you need will be available when you need them. This might mean money, but it also means inspiration, energy, knowledge, support, opportunities, and all the other forms of abundance that make life rich and meaningful. You don't have to have everything figured out in advance. You don't have to accumulate everything you might possibly need before you take your next step. Life provides what's needed as it's needed. Trust that your mistakes and setbacks are not evidence that you're on the wrong path. They're part of the learning and growth process. Every experience, even the difficult ones, contributes something valuable to your journey. What seems like a detour often turns out to be exactly the route you needed to take to arrive at your destination with the wisdom and strength required to handle what you find there. The deepest level of trust is trusting yourself, trusting that you have the capacity to handle whatever comes your way, trusting that your inner guidance is reliable and will lead you toward your highest good, trusting that you deserve the beautiful things that are trying to come into your life, trusting that you're worthy of love, success, happiness, and all the other gifts that life has to offer. As you learn to trust and surrender more fully, you'll notice that life becomes more magical. Synchronicities increase. The right people show up at the right times. Solutions appear just when you need them. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. This isn't luck or coincidence. This is what happens when you align yourself with the natural flow of abundance and grace that's always available. My dear friend, as we come to the end of our time together, I want you to know that everything you need for this beautiful transformation is already within you. You have the wisdom to navigate any changes that come your way. You have the strength to release what no longer serves you and embrace what's trying to emerge. You have the love necessary to support yourself through every step of this journey. The changes happening in your life right now are not random events. They are carefully orchestrated opportunities for you to step into a fuller expression of who you're meant to be. Every challenge is preparing you for greater strength. Every ending is making space for a more beautiful beginning. Every moment of uncertainty is building your capacity to trust in the goodness of life. Remember that you are not alone in this process. The same force that moves the planets and changes the seasons is moving within you, guiding you toward your highest potential. The same love that creates flowers from tiny seeds is creating something magnificent from the seeds of possibility that have been planted in your heart. Trust this process. Trust your journey. Trust yourself. You came into this world with unique gifts that only you can offer. You have a contribution to make that only you can make. As you heal and grow and become more authentically yourself, you create space for these gifts to shine more brightly. The world needs what you have to offer. It needs your particular blend of compassion, creativity, wisdom, and love. The video found you today because you were ready to remember these truths. You were ready to step into the next chapter of your beautiful story. You were ready to trust that your life is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't look the way you expected. You were ready to open your heart to the infinite possibilities that are always available to you. Take with you the knowing that you are loved beyond measure, supported beyond doubt, and guided beyond any fear. Your future is bright with promise and rich with potential. Every day brings new opportunities to love yourself more fully, to trust more deeply, and to express more authentically who you really are. Go forward with confidence, dear one. Your transformation is already underway, and it's going to be more beautiful than you can imagine. The universe is celebrating your willingness to grow, and I am celebrating you too. You are ready for this next chapter, and this next chapter is ready for you. With all my love and blessings for your journey ahead.